I have always believed in God, but I never, not in a million years, thought I would get a front row seat to the end of the world before it actually happens. But one night, I had a dream about the rapture that felt more real than the ground under my feet right now. And what I saw, well, it changed everything. This is the story of that vision, the one that shook me to my core, and the urgent message I feel I was given to share with you. It is one thing to read about prophecy in the book of Revelation. It is one thing to sit in a pew and listen to a pastor talk about the end times. I had done all of that. I grew up in church. I knew the stories. I could quote the verses, but knowing about God and truly encountering the terrifying, glorious reality of God are two completely different things. One fills your head with facts. The other rearranges the very atoms of your soul. My faith, if I am being brutally honest, had gotten comfortable. It was a nice accessory to my life. It was a Sunday morning routine, but it didn't have the fire. It didn't have the urgency. This is the story of how God, in His severe mercy, decided to wake me up. I want to be crystal clear from the start. I do not tell this story lightly. It has taken me months to find the courage and the words to even speak about this. I have held this vision in my chest like a burning coal, praying for the wisdom to share it in a way that points to God, not me. I am not a prophet. I am not a pastor. I am just a regular person who, for one night, was allowed to peel back the curtain and see something that has marked me forever. Before the dream, my life was deceptively normal. On the surface, I was the picture of a good Christian. Steady job, loving family, church attendance. But inside, I was spiritually running on fumes. My prayers were dry lists of requests. My Bible reading was a chore. I was, in the truest sense of the word, lukewarm. I would hear people talk about the end times, and I would just tune it out. It felt like fear-mongering or something for the crazy people on street corners. I was living for my 401k, my next vacation, my comfort. I was giving God the leftovers. I remember a specific prayer a few weeks before it all happened. I was sitting in my car, exhausted, feeling a deep, aching emptiness. And I just sighed, "Lord, is this it? I feel so far from you. Please, shake me, wake me up." Do whatever you have to do. Be careful what you pray for. I didn't know then that God heard that whisper, and that His answer would come like a freight train in the middle of the night. The night the dream came was completely ordinary. No fasting, no special prayer meeting, just a Tuesday. But the moment I fell asleep, the world shifted. It wasn't a normal dream. You know how dreams are usually foggy, disjointed? This was hyper-real. The colors were sharper. The air felt charged with electricity. It was as if I had been living my whole life in standard definition and suddenly woke up in 4K. One moment I was in my bed, and the next I was standing on a gentle hill overlooking a city. It was dusk. The sky was a bruised purple and orange, but the silence was the loudest thing I have ever heard. The usual hum of traffic and life was gone. It felt like the entire planet was holding its breath. I felt a peace so deep it was almost heavy. I was an observer, but I was also there. Then it began. It wasn't a noise from the outside. It was a sound that started inside my own chest, a deep, resonant frequency that vibrated my bones. It grew until it was an all-encompassing note, a voice and a trumpet all at once. It was a summons. And then I was rising. No gravity, no force, just a gentle magnetic pull of pure affection. I looked down and my heart stopped. From every corner of the city below, thousands of tiny lights were streaming upwards. People. They were rising from houses, from cars, from parks. I saw a mother reaching out, and her child laughing with pure delight, floating just ahead of her. I saw an old man, his broken body left behind on a bench, but his spirit rising, vibrant and young. Every earthly division, race, age, status, melted away. We were all being drawn to a single point of brilliant, warm, living light in the sky. It wasn't the cold light of a star. It was the warm, loving light of the sun. But then, my perspective shifted. I looked down at the earth we were leaving, and what I saw broke me. For us, it was glory. For those below, it was the beginning of hell. The world was in instant chaos. Cars without drivers were careening off bridges. Planes were falling from the sky. People were pouring out of their homes, screaming. I saw a man fall to his knees in the middle of a street, clutching a pile of empty clothes, screaming a name over and over. The sorrow was a physical weight, a suffocating blanket descending on the world. The peace was gone. The salt and light were gone. The praying grandmothers, the faithful witnesses, they were gone, and the world was left with its own darkness. The most terrifying part wasn't the accidents. It was the look on the faces of the people left behind. Specifically, the churchgoers, the ones who knew the language, the ones who sat in the pews but never gave their hearts. The realization on their faces was a horror I cannot describe. They knew. They knew instantly that they had missed it. Then the earth faded. I was enveloped in the light. The sound became a symphony of worship, and I felt a presence. I didn't see a face, but I knew him. It was Jesus, and without words, a message was downloaded into my spirit. It was a message of love so intense, it hurt. A well done that healed every wound. But mixed with that love was a profound, crushing grief. I felt God's heartbreak. He wasn't angry. He was weeping. He was grieving for every single soul left in the darkness below. The message was clear. I love them, but they would not come to me. The rapture wasn't God abandoning the world. It was the tragic result of the world abandoning God. It was the bridegroom finally taking his bride home before the storm. I woke up gasping for air. My pillow was soaked with tears. My heart was hammering against my ribs. I knew this wasn't just a dream. It was a warning. It was a gift. For days, I couldn't speak. I went to the Bible, and verses I had skimmed over for years suddenly screamed at me. I read about the thief in the night. I read about the twinkling of an eye. I read the book of Joel. Your old men shall dream dreams. Your young men shall see visions. I realized that maybe, just maybe, God is pouring out his spirit right now because the time is short. I know there are different views on the end times. I know people debate pre-trib, mid-trib, post-trib. I respect that. But I can only tell you what I saw. I saw a door closing, and I saw the terror of being on the wrong side of it. My lukewarm faith died that night. You cannot see the face of eternity and go back to playing church. You cannot feel the heartbreak of God and not tell people. This is my story. This is what I was shown, and now I have to ask you the question that haunts me. If that trumpet blew right now, not tomorrow, not next year, but right now, would you rise, or would you be left holding the empty clothes of someone you love? This isn't about fear. It's about invitation. The door is still open. The bridegroom is still waiting. I want to hear from you. Have you felt this stirring? Have you had dreams like this? Tell me in the comments. We need to encourage each other because the day is approaching. Lord Jesus, thank you for your mercy. Thank you for the warning. For anyone listening right now who isn't sure, I pray you would wake them up with your love, just like you woke me up. Give them the courage to surrender everything to you today. We are waiting for you. Come quickly, Lord Jesus. Amen.